to my video. I'm Vinudhi Wahalathanthri and I'm here with my third question set from the DBMS question series. So this video explains how to create a database using the MySQL Workbench and create tables using customized databases and how to create a relationship between tables in a database. So let's see what are the questions we have to answer regarding this question set. The owner of the Rajapaksha grocery store has decided to buy a software to make his day-to-day business easier. The owner of the store has entrusted your organization to develop this software. Assume you are working as a software developer for this company and that you have been assigned to create the software database. So over here, our role is to create this database for this Rajapaksha store. So now let's see what are the instructions given to create this database. So our first instruction given is use Rajapaksha DB for the name in the database. So Rajapaksha DB will become our database name. So over here inside this bracket, they have given us separately, draw an ER diagram. So what is this ER diagram? So over here, we are going to create a database graphically. So throughout our previous videos, we normally created a database in the simple method. So in this video, we are going to create the database using an ER diagram. So let's see how we are going to create this ER diagram. So I'm going to use my MySQL Workbench to create this ER diagram because it has the ability to draw ER. So now I will open my MySQL Workbench. So this is my MySQL software. So now y'all can see that above, I have a tab called File. So now once I click on it, there are different options loading in it. So I'll click on this new model option. So once I click on it, I can create my ER diagram. So before creating my ER diagram, I should rename my database. So over here in this physical schemas window, I will click on this MyDB. So once I click on it, I can add a name for my database. So I'll give the name as Rajapaksha DB. And now I'll rename the references. So now y'all can see that it has been renamed. So now above in this model overview, I have an option called Add Diagram. So I'll double click on it. So once I click on it, I have the ability to create this ER diagram. So this is my designing area for the ER diagram. Okay, so let's see what our next instruction is. Okay, so our next instruction is create a database table using the following data. So over here, what they are asking is, they have told us to create these tables, the customer table, the product table, as well as the brand table. So over here, we have to create these tables according to that column name, the data types, and the length. So now let's begin to create these tables. So we'll begin by creating the customer table. So for our customer table, we need the customer register number, as well as the name, first name, last name, gender, and the contact name. So we have to give the specific data type and the length for it accordingly. So now, what do you think the primary key will be? So why do we use a primary key? So we use a primary key to find a data uniquely. So if we want to find a customer uniquely, this customer register number will be the one for it. So then we can add the customer register number as our primary key. So now let's go to our MySQL Workbench and create this table. So over here in our designing area, we have options like this. So over here, we have an option called place a new table. So once I click on it and click on our designing area, we can add a table. So now when I double click on it, I can edit that table. So now, this is how we can add a table in our ER diagram designing area. So now let's give our table name as customer. So, okay, so now I have added a table name, and y'all can see that the table has been renamed. So now I'll add our column, customer register number, and I'll give the data type as water, and I'll give my primary key and not null. So this is how we can create the columns. So in this method, let's create our other columns as well. So likewise, y'all can see that I have created our columns. So this is how it will be built. So in this method, let's create our other tables as well. So y'all can see that likewise I have created my tables. So now let's begin to add our relationships. So over here there are two types of relationships, the one-to-many relationship and the many-to-many relationship. So over here we are going to use the one-to-many relationship. So I'll tell y'all why. Because a brand can have many products, but a product can only have one brand. So due to this reason, we are going to use a one-to-many relationship. So I'll add the many for the product and I'll give the one for my brand. So likewise, we can add this. Likewise. So this is how we can add a relationship. So let's see what our next instruction is. So our next one is customers who come to the store can buy as many items as they like. The store owner says that all purchased items must be stored in a database with a record. Design the database accordingly. Use the ER diagram for this. So over here they are telling us to create a separate table to show the customer's details as well as the product's details at once. So for this reason, we are going to use another new relationship, the many-to-many relationship. Why are we going to use that? So once we use the many-to-many relationship, a customer can buy many products as they can, and products can be bought by many customers. For this reason, we are going to use the many-to-many. So now y'all can see that once I tap on this icon over here and tap on these two tables, a separate table has been created. The customer has product. So once we go to this table, we can store the customer's data as well, and we can also store the product's data as well. So these two jobs can be done at once using this many-to-many table. Okay, so now our work here is done in the ER diagram. So now let's forward engineer this and let's see how it's viewed in our Heidi SQL. So I'll forward engineer to this. So okay, I'll next this, and we don't need to set any options. So our default options has been added. Yes, next, and now our script will be executed. Next. Okay, so now it has been forward engineered. So now I'll close it. So now let's go to our Heidi SQL and see how it's viewed. So I'll disconnect this and I'll give our password. And now I'll open it again. Okay, so let's move down and let's see how it's viewed. Okay, so now over here y'all can see that my Rajapaksha DB has been created and the tables has been loaded. So now let's see how our product is viewed. So we'll go to table and let's go to data. So now y'all can see that the foreign key has been added. So likewise, our customer has product and the customer as well as the brand has been created. So this is how we can create a database using an ER diagram. So I hope you all understood what I explained. So that's all for this question set. So I'll be back with my next question set. So until that, stay tuned, have a nice day, and bye.